Hey there, Aries, and welcome back to Unicorn Tarot for your weekly reading. This is going to be a reading for April 7th through, April 7th through April 13th. Had that fallen out, I would have taken it, but it didn't. And that was the Knight of Swords, so we'll see. Like I said, this is going to be a weekly reading from April 7th through April 13th. We're going to take a look at past, present, and near future energies and see what's going on for you. Also, Aries, please remember, since this is a general reading, I could be picking up on your energy or the person attached to you's energy. Take the energies as they resonate for you. Okay, your intuition was coming in freaking strong in the recent past. And I'm not sure what it was telling you, but we'll see. Also, Aries, please remember to stick around until the very end of this reading for messages from Spirit. It really ties the whole reading together. So, the main energy for your reading this week is the Five of Wands. There's an internal conflict going on here within you. I don't feel like there's a disagreement between you and somebody else. I feel like there's a fight going on between your intuition and your mind. Your mind in the current situation is super, super active, and it's coming in with a lot of intense energy. And I feel like in the recent past, your intuition was actually trying to communicate with you. I don't know if you listened though. So in the recent past, you get the Two of Pentacles, the Hermit, the High Priestess. You're very confused. It's almost like you keep bouncing back and forth between two energies of your intuition talking to you hearing your intuition, and something else. With the Two of Pentacles here, it's letting me know that there was like a lot of indecision and you were struggling to find balance between probably your mind and your intuition, guiding you in a specific direction, which again is why I say, I don't know if you actually listen to your intuition, but with the Hermit and the High Priestess here, I'm pretty sure you heard it because that's really, really loud. In the current situation, you get the Nine of Swords, Five of Swords, Eight of Swords. What in the hell is going on, Aries? What is happening in the current situation? There's a lot of overthinking. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of, I don't trust this. I don't trust myself. I don't trust the other person. What is going on? This is intense, intense energies, and it's all the mind. Entirely the mind. And all of these are scenarios that you're making up yourself. Your mind is coming in and literally just giving you worst case scenario after worst case scenario after worst case scenario. And I don't really see that pertaining to the situation. I feel like that's more your mind coming in and being like, oh, let's freak out, let's freak out. So I don't know what's happening here. But in the near future, you get the Six of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles. There's an energy of feeling good here. There's an energy of wanting to work on something. And again, you get the Two of Swords in the middle, which is letting me know that even though you feel guided to work on something, to invest your energy in something, and you realize it's going to make you feel very good about that, you're very confused about it. You're showing me like, oh, I can't decide. I don't know what to do. You know, like, I'm afraid of making the wrong choice, so I'm just not going to do anything. Let's see. I'm very intrigued. I want to clarify the Five of Wands, and I want to clarify your current situation because these are some intense energies. But we're going to clarify the whole thing. Let's start off by clarifying the Five of Wands for you this week. Oh, that's what's freaking you out. It's love. The Five of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Swords, which you get in the current situation, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Cups. You're fighting here with yourself, again, between your passion, where you're being pulled to, where your desire lies, and your mind coming in and being like, oh, Aries, this is going to hurt. You're going to get hurt. This is going to cause you pain. Da-da-da-da-da. I feel like in the past, not in this connection, but in other connections, you've had really, really not so great experiences, Aries. And this person coming in now is evoking a lot of feelings for you. This could be a new person. This could be somebody from your past that you guys are having a new beginning with. We'll see when we clarify. But this connection is bringing in a lot of those, ooh, this feels nice. This feels good. I feel like drawn to this and passionate about it. And that's really freaking you out because you're like, oh, if I feel all these things, I felt them for another person. And now this person's making me feel the same things and I'm going to get hurt. So, but again, this is your mind. It's literally your mind coming in, trying to protect you so that you don't experience the pain that you did in the past all over again. And again, if this isn't you, you would definitely know if this is you. If this isn't you, this could be your person's energy. Let's take a look at your recent past. I want to see what the Two of Pentacles is for you in the recent past. Oof, man, that's intense. Two of Pentacles is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune, the Star, and the Hanged Man. You definitely have a desire here. And I feel like whatever this is came in very, very quickly for you. Whatever you're attracted to, whatever you were drawn to in the recent past, it came in and it picked up very, very quickly. It could be that you just met this person and instantly you guys just like clicked and it was like a very good connection and you guys talked all day and you hung out all day and it was just amazing. But again, some confusion came in, some confusion settled in here for you, and you were having a hard time deciding, is this real, is this not? Is this just me making this whole fantasy up? Like, does this other person feel the same way? Maybe this connection had happened too quickly and it's going to fade just as quickly as it came in. And so that sent you into an energy of kind of pause, of a freeze, of like, you know what, I'm confused, I don't know what to do, let me take a step back, let me take a breather. So I'm not really sure what that's about in terms of like why this connection is showing up as confusing for you, but you would know. Let's take a look at the Hermit for you in the recent past. Yeah, dude. Who hurt you, Aries? Somebody really hurt you here. The Hermit is clarified by the Three of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles. This new beginning in love that you're having with this person, I feel like it's a brand new person. And I feel like things are working out quite nicely, to be honest. Things are moving, things are working, things are flowing. However, deep down in the recent past, you were carrying a lot of emotional pain that you didn't process. Again, I was picking up that it's from other relationships. You were carrying this pain, but I don't feel like you actually realized how much pain you were carrying. Because you're showing me here, this pain is buried deep, deep within me. This is like deep, deep, deep within me. On the surface, between you and this person, everything was working. This new person has no idea that you're carrying all this heartbreak and emotional pain tied up to what happened to you in the past with a specific person, with other people. Now I understand why there's so many swords here. Because this pain, you haven't worked through it, you haven't processed it. You've just taken it, you've buried it deep down, and this new person is coming in and, you know, making you feel all passionate, making you feel all lovey-dovey, and you're freaking out. But things are working between you and them. That's what I'm seeing, at least in the recent past. Let's take a look at the High Priestess here in the recent past. The High Priestess is clarified by the Eight of Swords, which you get again in the current situation in the same row. The King of Swords, the Ten of Wands. Yeah, your intuition is really, really trying to guide you through this, but it's hard for you to listen to your intuition because your mind is coming in and really taking over this whole thing. You're showing me that your mind is literally very powerful. It's coming in and it's making this whole thing much more difficult. If you were able to silence your mind and just listen to your intuition, you would see that there's love, there's passion, things are working, right? But your mind is coming in and being like, wait a minute, you need to approach this logically. You need to make sense of this. Let's sit down and think about all the ways that this could not work out. Let's play all the worst case scenarios. And I say this all the time. The mind is there to protect us, but the mind comes in and it never gives us best case scenarios. It's never like, oh, what's the best thing that can happen here? No, it's always like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Let me give you a list of all the ways this could go wrong. And that's just making things harder for you in the recent past. It's just it's kind of like shutting your heart off a little bit. And you're not really able to access these beautiful feelings of love and passion because your mind is coming in and being like, well, look at all the bad things that could happen, Aries. Let's take a look at your current situation. I want to see what the Nine of Swords is for you in the current situation. Okay. The Nine of Swords is clarified by the Four of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Wands. There's definitely an energy of healing here. You're healing this overthinking. You're healing this anxiety. You're healing this pain, or at least you're working on it. And I feel like let me rephrase that. I don't feel like you're actively doing it. What I see is the energy is available for healing. The energy for happiness is there. If you go through that healing, if you process that emotional pain, if you work through all this overthinking and this anxiety that your mind is creating, what you're showing me is that you're prolonging it. You're kind of like, I don't really want to go through this healing right now. I'm just, let me postpone it. Let me wait. We'll wait on this healing. But Aries, the happiness that you desire is on the other side of this healing. Yeah, I know. But like, you know what? It's fine. If I can work through this by myself. I don't need to actually heal. I can just take it, bury it deep within and pretend like it doesn't exist. So there's an element here of kind of like postponing the healing. I didn't ask the question, Spirit. Postponing the healing that is going to lead you to that happiness that you desire. Let's take a look at the Five of Swords for you in the current situation. Five of Swords is clarified by the Six of Wands, which you get again in the near future. The Devil, the Knight of Swords. Okay. You may have a pattern here of, and again, I'm going to put you on blast. You may not agree with what I'm about to say, but these are the energies that I see. You may have a pattern here of a little bit of self-sabotaging, where you're impulsive in a way that, so the way the energies are coming in, it's almost like you keep bouncing back and forth between, oh my God, this feels so good, everything's good, I'm fine, no pain, I don't feel any pain, and then the pain comes up, you bury it deep down within you, you don't want to look at it, you don't want to pay attention to it, and then you go up into your head, you start overthinking, you start overanalyzing, and then again, you get back on this loop of, no, but everything's fine, I'm good, I'm fine, everything's okay. Again, that pain is going to keep coming up. These emotional issues from the past, from other relationships that you haven't worked through, are going to keep coming up. And sure, you can pretend like everything's fine. You can put on a facade of, yeah, I'm good, everything's good. And temporarily, it might be. But there is some healing. There is some emotional pain that needs to be healed here. And you're showing me, I can run through it. I cannot, like, I don't have to actually deal with it. I can just, move through it, move past it. It's fine. And again, this may be a pattern that you don't even realize is self-sabotaging you. And this may be something that you've done in relationships in the past. This may be something that you think is actually beneficial to you. The energies that's showing up is it's not beneficial to you to keep doing this, to keep ignoring this pain, to keep kind of like charging ahead and moving forward and pretending like it's not there, Let's take a look at the Eight of Swords in the current situation for you. The Eight of Swords is clarified by the Lovers, the World, the Magician. So what you want to come to an end here is this overthinking. You're realizing that you're in this place of overthinking and overanalyzing and putting on worst case scenarios. And in the recent past, I feel like you didn't really realize that. You were kind of like, no, this is normal. This is fine. This is what I need to do in order to not get hurt, instead of listening to my intuition. In the current situation, I see you kind of being like, well, there's a really intense and powerful connection here. And I want to start a new phase. I want to like close that old chapter, that chapter of me overthinking and overanalyzing and just bringing up all the worst case scenarios. I want to close that chapter and start a brand new chapter, a loving chapter, one where me and this person can actually come together without my mind coming in and making a mess of everything. And you're manifesting that. And so because you're showing me that you're manifesting it, I feel like you're not quite there yet. But let's clarify these near future energies, because I feel like you might actually get there. You seem very clear on the fact that you want to heal this. And I feel like you may even in the current situation be working on healing these toxic patterns of yours, of just ignoring the heartache, ignoring, the self-sabotage, etc., etc. This is really cool. I don't know what flipped for you here, but something clicked. Something you're like, I can't keep doing this. Let's take a look at the near future. I'm going to clarify the Six of Wands for you. The Six of Wands is clarified by the Four of Cups, the Emperor, and the Ten of Pentacles. So, again, remember how I said you're showing up as I feel good, I feel great, everything's fine? In the near future, that's coming up again, only this time you're showing me I realize that I'm not okay. I realize that I'm not great. I realize that everything's not fine, and it's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel unhappy about things. But again, with the Emperor, how do I explain it? You're like feeling this, you're acknowledging the feelings, but you're not really feeling them. You know how sometimes when we're sad, we're like, okay, I get that I'm sad, but I don't want to be sad anymore, so I'm going to pretend like I'm not sad. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. And instead of focusing on the feeling and being like, okay, well, where is this coming from? How can I work with this? You're kind of like, forget it. Let me just go work. Let me focus on my job. Let me focus on my money. Let me focus on something that I can control, something that I can that me putting in the work is actually going to give me some tangible results, something that I can like feel, or something that I can hold like in my hand. Whereas with feelings, you can't do that. You don't realize when you're healing. You don't realize like, oh, I need to work through this pain. I need to work on whatever I've been carrying within me. Let's take a look at the Two of Swords for you in the near future. Your mind is so strong. It's driving me crazy. If your mind was a little weaker, You know, if you didn't have such a strong mind, I'd be like, this would be way easier for you. But because you're so intelligent, because you're so able to rationalize things, your mind is just, it's almost like you're kind of like, it's a muscle that needs to be weakened, where you're kind of like, you need to learn how to feel. The Two of Swords is clarified by the King of Cups, Three of Cups, Page of Cups. Like, you have love all over this, all over this. You want this person, you want this connection. There's a specific person that you may want back, or you want to spend more time with. But again, your mind is coming in and being like, well, what if you make the wrong choice? What if you make the wrong decision? Absolutely not. You're confused. Think about this some more. You need to take more time to think about this. No, you don't. You know what you're feeling. It's freaking clear as day here. You got cups all over the board, but then you take the mind and you put the mind on top of it, and the mind is like, no. Feelings bad. Mind good. Let's take a look at this Eight of Pentacles in the near future for you, because there's definitely something working here. Or maybe you're working on something. We'll see. Okay, I like it. I like it. The Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Nine of Wands, the Judgment, the Fool. Remember how I said you're very, because you're so intelligent, you're able to, your mind comes in and is able to set up all these defense mechanisms and like think of the worst case scenarios to prevent you from getting hurt. In the near future, you're working on bringing that guard down, on bringing those defenses down. And you're kind of realizing, you know what, I don't actually need these defenses. They're not helping me. With the Judgment and the Fool, complete transformation. It's almost like you're starting from scratch, starting over. It's like a whole new you coming through as you're working on putting these defenses down, of releasing these guards that you have, that you've set in place for yourself in order to protect yourself from getting hurt. There's definitely a lot of past pain from other relationships coming in and being placed on top of this connection. And again, it makes sense, because this person's probably making you feel just as good as those other people made you feel, and they hurt you. And now you're like, oh, well, I don't want to get hurt again. So, you know, the mind comes in at that point. Let's see what the universe wants you to keep in mind this week. This is the closing message. I hope you've made it this far, because I know this has been a bit of a longer reading. Yep, I get it. From the universe, you get the Hierophant, the Temperance, the Seven of Swords. Some of you may be dealing with a Taurus or just a very, very strong connection. There's healing. There's a transformation going on here. And I see you kind of dipping in, dipping out. Being in this connection and then stepping away, because your mind is coming in and being like, oh, this person's going to hurt you. But then coming back to the connection and being like, okay, well, I like this. I like how this person makes me feel. I like spending time with them. Let's work with them. Let's work on healing this. And then you step away again. And again, this is all a process that you need to go through with the Temperance here. This is a divine process that you need to go through in order to restore that balance, to restore that harmony within yourself, within your higher self, when it comes to connections in general, not just this one. This connection is coming in as a tool to help you do that. And I do see you kind of like working with your intuition and then stepping away, and then working with it a little bit more and then stepping away again. So it's totally normal. We all do that. So Aries, that's what I have for you. I hope this reading helped. And if it did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you here for your reading next week. Bye, Aries.